Okay, hello everyone. Thank you for being here today. My name is Rui. I'm the technical director of PF Consultants. We are the developers of CMMS, and today we're going to look at the job planner module in CMMS. So I have a presentation, a very short presentation first to explain what the module does, and then I will go through some practical applications of everything that I will explain now. So to start with, the job planner module, as you can see here, lets you aggregate jobs to be done during the same period of time. And usually for industrial maintenance, that means a planned plant shutdown or a planned venue dark period. So that's a time that operations and the company agrees will be set aside to do maintenance on machines. So usually during those times, we all have a lot of experience in this. I'm quite sure we have the opportunity to go deeper on the types of jobs that we can do, namely because the machines are available for the maintenance team to work on them. So the job planner, the first thing that it does, it puts together the group of jobs that you need to do on that occasion during, for example, a plant shutdown. Also, the other thing that it does, as the name planner implies, it also allows to not prioritize, but to organize the sequence, or it doesn't have to be a sequence because one job happens after the other, but like what is the steps in terms of jobs that need to happen during that time frame of that plant shutdown. So it also, not only it aggregates, as I said on the previous slide, but it also allows you to plan how you're going to do those jobs that you have planned for that occasion. So the last thing, in a nutshell, that the job planner module does is at the end of all of that, so at the end of the shutdown, then it allows you to comment on what has happened that was good and what has happened that was bad, all thinking that you'll have to report that later to, as I put in here, to explain it to yourself, to your future self, so you can perform that usually recurring job in a better way. Because I think also most people have experienced that when you have a plant shutdown, the majority, not all, not all, but the majority, there's many key jobs that happen during that shutdown. So if you keep on doing those jobs and those sequence of things, then you start to have a lot of experience, not only on each job, but also on the aggregate of all the jobs. And every time that happens, the system allows you to put in a report for that aggregate of jobs. So as I put in here is, on that report, you talk to your future self to improve the next shutdown, and every shutdown is better than the previous one and faster. So we'll try it out. Everything that I said here will become more clear because I will try it with you on a practical example of what I'm talking. So what we will do is we will imagine that we have to implement a job plan for a 6-monthly, so a recurring 6-monthly plant or production line shutdown, as I write in here, that has a 6 days window total. So we will set that up for 6 days. Then we will add manual work orders. That means that you will add work orders one by one. Sometimes you have to do it. But it's also there's also a way to add batches of work orders, because it's not always practical to add one by one. And then you can also add milestones that help you control your work, where you're at, where you're supposed to be. And then I didn't write in here, but we'll also look at the end of that work, how you report or write the report and close that job plan. So let's do that. Let me go to the system here to show you how to do it. Let me share the screen. Just give me a second. So here, okay. So you should be seeing my screen. Yeah, it's coming here. Okay, so I'm not sure if the people here are CMMS clients already. I'm not sure, But anyway, it's also true for any CMMS. You've got the dashboard here that summarizes all the information that has to do with the current state of your maintenance. We're, of course, not looking at all of that. We're namely going to look at the job planner. And the job planner is accessible through the maintenance menu. It's here, this sub-menu. For access, you click on job planner. And you come in Common CMMS, it's all the modules have a search console. This is the search console for the job plans module. And all the modules where that makes sense, which is most of them, have a few shortcut key buttons on the top here, where you start a new template of whatever thing you are going to do, in this case, a job plan. So plus job plan, it's a new job plan template. So we'll start something new. If you already have job plans like the ones that you see in here, you basically see this list. You can filter things out to show you what you want to look at. You've got the name, you've got the description. You will see, we'll set all this up. You've got the status. A red LED means that the job plan is complete and done. So for example, this 6-monthly production line maintenance shutdown, which was the example when I was preparing this presentation that I made, we'll do something like this as well. This one is already complete. So a complete job plan like this one, you have the edit button here, but if you try to edit, it will say that it's already complete, so you cannot modify it. I will have some comments about this at a later stage. So you can view the details of a closed job plan like this one. So, but I'm not going to spend too much time because we're going to build all of this. And now what we're going to do is we'll start a new job plan. Okay, so as I mentioned in my presentation, the example I'm going to give here is for a recurring 6-monthly shutdown of production line 1. So for the job plan, plan 9, we'll write just that. Let me just grab so I don't have to write it. Where is it? Oh, my keyboard is not cooperating for some reason. Okay, let me just try something. Sorry, bear with me for a moment. I am having some issues with my keyboard right now. It's not working here. Yeah, my keyboard is not working. Okay, that's not good. All right, okay, I'll just change computer because I have the computer with the presentation here. So give me a second. I will just start the connection here. Okay, Mike seems to be back. Sorry about this. My keyboard doesn't cooperate for some reason. All right, okay, so let's try it. Okay, so the job plan 9 is 6-monthly shutdown. Then the description, you have an opportunity to write something with a bit more detail in here. Both of this will show up on the list. So you are very limited on the amount of characters here, but not so limited in here. Both will show up on the list. So just make this as much as possible meaningful, and this you can make it very clear. Then the assignment options, this is usually for more complex installations, so we're not going to address that. Usually what you have in here as a defaults is what makes sense, because okay, I'm not going to go too much through to this, but this is for more complex installations. As I said, you usually will leave it as it is. Then for what I mentioned, I said that this is going to take 6 days. So in my example, we'll start on the 20th. And we'll finish on the 25th. So this is the total duration of this shutdown on production line 1. Okay, so this is enough to start the template. And basically what you see in here is an empty template for this job plan. You have the tabs appear at the top. In the content manager, you have a Gantt chart that is not totally visible right now because you have no contents. It only shows the duration, the 6 days duration for the total project with no contents. Then you have a list of work orders or items that will show up on this chart here. So this will be your list of things to do. And then here you have a manual input of information. And as if you remember what I said, I will start by manually adding work orders to this job plan. And that's what I'm going to do right now. So one thing that you need to know, if you do it this way, is you need to know the work order ID. So I know already that I have a work order that is 839. So what you would have to do in a real situation is you probably are dealing already with work orders. You make a note, and then you know that at some stage you'll come to the job planner and you will add the work orders to this job plan. So in this case, that's what I'm saying. I have this work order 839 that in my example is for confirmation of safety procedures. So this is going to be the first work order that we're going to do, the first job that we're going to do for this during this shutdown. So another handy thing that you have is you can classify work orders and jobs by color. So for example, in this case, 839, I mentioned is to confirm safety procedures. I'd say this is all up to you. There's no standard for this. But in my case, I'll say that everything that has to do with safety, I will like to see on the chart in the color red. Okay, so 839, I can already do another thing for 839 because it's the first thing that we're going to do. We're going to leave this on the start day of the project, which is the 20th of May, and we'll start at 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock when the shift comes in. Let's say 8 o'clock, when the first shift comes in to start working. And this usually, and this is one of the things that I was talking about when we talk about the report at the end, the knowledge base that you get from doing this. It's at this moment, I'm assuming that I will take 2 hours. It's going to go from 8 to 10 o'clock on the same day. So I also need to change the day here from 8 to 10 o'clock, 2 hours to do this job, but maybe it will take me only 1.5 or it will take me 5 hours. So this is the type of thing that at a later stage we can add to the report. But in this case, that's my assumption. It will take 2 hours. So we click on the plus button here, and you start to fill in the list of things that will go onto this job. The Gantt chart here starts to be filled in as well. And as you can see that this will be start on the 20th and on the 20th. So the same day, start at 8 o'clock, finish at 10 o'clock. The 839, the summary of that work order is confirmed safety procedures. I already knew that, and I said that. It's red because it's safety procedures. And then the resources are also pulled from the work order. So these are the guys that are assigned to do this job from the work order. And once this is all built and you've set your plan, you can only work on work orders and change the work order data. This will change dynamically until you save the work report at the very end, and then it will be set in stone, and this is what happened. So I would just like, okay, to add another one, I have another work order, so another manual work order. This time is just, for example, mechanical work. So I'm going to do it in blue. 838 is the 6-month deep inspection on some machine. Let's say it's, I forgot what the name of the machine that I put it here, but just imagine it's a machine and it's the 6-monthly inspection that we will take the opportunity to do during this plant shutdown. So that takes a bit longer. So we'll say, okay, we'll do it after this one. So this one ends on the 20th at 10 o'clock. So we'll start at 11, so 10 o'clock, yeah. So we'll start at 10 o'clock for this job here. But this will take longer. This will go, let me see what, okay, to the 22nd. So it's blue, it's 838, it's an inspection of some sort. And it will start on the 20th at 10, right after the safety inspection. And then it will go on for 2 days. Okay, so let's pull that in. And there we go. So it's longer, it takes longer, of course. The resources have been pooled. And this is how you will, with the 2 examples that I gave you here, you will pull information from the work order database if you already know the work order ID, or if you want to do it one by one, you go to the work order list and you select the work order IDs that you want to add, and then you add them here. The other thing, the other manual thing that I'd like to show you here is this note thing here. So if you do not input a work order ID and instead input a note, you get what we call a milestone. So this is used for milestones, but can be used for other things. Basically, this is just a placeholder in the Gantt chart up here for things of note that are not necessarily work orders. And in my experience, the best use case for this is for milestones. So let me write something in here, say, okay, let me see. First of all, let's do this green because it's a milestone. And in our convention, we say, okay, green is for milestones. Let me see. Okay, so we'll just write milestone as an example, milestone 1. Okay, something like this. And this is something that we want to see. Okay, when do we want to see? Okay, say on the 22nd, you'll see how this looks. On the 22nd at 8 o'clock. And then because we want just not a dot, but a small marker in there, you can make it as wide as you want within the time frame of the project duration, but this is a milestone, so I want it quite short. So I'll just give it an hour so that I just have the shortest amount possible on the 22nd. So it's green, it's a milestone. I'll just put this nice and looking good here. Okay, so let's do that. So there you go. I have the milestone here, so you can have the system dotted. Not the system, sorry, the graph here dotted with these milestones that you can keep on following as you add items to the list of work and to the items on the Gantt chart here. You can move things up and down, so I can move the milestone up and organize this in different way. Let me do this, take it back to where it was. Let me just see this. Okay, so another thing I'd like to show you. So now I made a mistake, for example, and milestone 1, I would like to change this to be in a different time. And basically, I want to change this to the 23rd. Okay, so I'll start here. So you click on the date and you change it to the 23rd. It will be, of course, this will do that in here, but that's not what I want. I want it to go here to the 23rd as well. So basically move that point. And that's how you edit things. You can also change the time. So for the dates, you click and you get the calendar. You can change it there. For the times, you also click and it becomes editable. So I'll change this to make it a bit wider. And now it's a bit wider. From 8 to 10, it's 2 hours on that day. So it's a little bit wider. That's how you edit information. You can do this for milestones, for anything on this list, including these 2 work orders here, so you can replan this any way you want and move them up and down and remove them as well. You can also do that. So okay, so just to show the remove, because I have here on my script, I'd like to show you everything that is in here. So okay, I'm just going to remove milestone 1. Once you do that, it disappears from the list down here and from the chart up here. Okay, so if you remember, I mentioned we will add items manually. This is what we've done. But there is also a way to batch add items. And that's from the work order list. So we start that process on the work order search console. So as you will see, this very much looks like the job plan search console. So the concept is the same. The button is here. Of course, we're in the work orders module, so you don't create the job plan. You create a work order from this, but they're all the same concept. And there's some, now you need to know some key things that we need to know. So as you go through your maintenance day to day, you will find some items that you know that you can delay to make so that they happen during that shutdown. Either because they're not very important or because they are very important, but the machines need to be kept running and you can't just have the machine stop right there and then work on it for hours. So you can manage perhaps a little bit of a decrease in performance of the machine. So you buy some time, for example, to get spare parts to allow you to do jobs during that planned shutdown. So there is a way that I recommend that you pre-organize those works that you plan and want to do during that planned shutdown in some way. And the way that I think is more feasible, or not feasible, sorry, the best way to do it is adding tags. So I already prepared that, and I made some examples, and I used the 6-month shutdown 2024. This is free. You can put whatever text you'd like. And I have tagged some items with this tag. So the first thing, when I want to grab all of the work orders that I know I want to put on a job plan, the first thing to do is to filter them out on the work order search console. And as I mentioned, the way to do it is through this tag. So what you do is you get the tag, and then you search for work orders that are tagged with that. So once you do that, you get 4 work orders. But there's some, in this particular case, there is, on this example, there's something I'd like to mention, because you probably don't remember, but work order 838 and work order 839 I already added, and they're on this list. It's no problem. I can upload these work orders, and they will not be there twice. But to make it cleaner, just on this example, I actually want to let go of, or I don't want these work orders to show up. So let me think how I can do that. Let me think. I think that I can filter by creation date, right? So I don't want 839 and 838. So, okay, so creation date is before, for example, the 10th of May. I should get 2. Yeah, I get 2 work orders. So the 838 and 839, this is just for convenience. They're not here anymore because they're already in the job plan. So I'm left with these 2 that I need to import to the job plan. You can have 100, you can have 150, you can have 2,000. So I just want to make it simple in here. There is a limitation, I will show you in a second, but that limitation can be lifted for customers that request it. But let me do that. So we've got these 2 orders. So you see here, there's a link to add whatever is on this list to a certain job plan. So let's click that. And we have total items to add to, which are the 2 ones on this list. And then we have the job plans list. The only job plans that show up on the list are the currently open job plans. Everything that is closed obviously doesn't show up in here. And that's how you can manage multiple job plans for multiple things that you need to do that fit the description of the features of this module. But you also don't have 150 because you also have the closed ones. You only have the open ones. And if you remember, the one that we did just now is this one. And this is where the limitation I told you about comes in. So if you read in here, you don't have you can't see the option. I'm looking at, okay, I'm going to select it. So you don't see the drop down button when I open this, but it says 6 monthly production line maintenance shutdown is the description. And then it says 18 spots free. Okay. So the current limitation on this system is for 20 lines on the job plan. We can open it up. If it makes sense for you to have 150, we can then open it up to 150. So it says you have 18 because the limit is 20, but we already have 2 items. It also says something. It says that the import will be complete. That means that you can't see it, but it says the import will be complete because you have 18 slots available and you have 2 that you want to add now. So for sure, they're going to be added, these 2. If you had 20 items to add and only 18 slots, then 2 items would not be added because you'd be over your quota on that job plan. Okay. So, but let's do that. Let's add these 2 items to the job plan. Let's do that. Okay, and it says 2 items were successfully imported to the selected job plan. Let's go to the job plan and see how it looks now. And there we go. Okay, so we've got the old ones here, the ones I added manually. The milestone is not here because if you remember, I deleted it. And then we have the 2 new ones that we've just imported. If you have 100 of these, perhaps it is better to split them in two job plans, really, because then you would have 100 lines over here. For me, it's okay to have 100 lines, but you have that flexibility. It's just something to think about. You're not bound to any requirement. You can use these features in a way that makes sense to you. So some things of note. The first is that it opened not on the edit view, but it opened on the details view. So you can't edit anything in here, but there is a handy button over here that will allow you to do that. That's the first thing of note. The second thing of note is that when we import the work orders like we did, the system doesn't know when you want to do them. So it just goes from the first day to the last day of the total project duration. So that's why you've got all of this going from the beginning to the end. So we probably need to edit this and to change that. So you go into the edit mode. We're back on edit mode. Let me just make sure that I don't forget anything. So okay, all right, okay. So let's plan. I already showed you how to plan it, but let's just plan this one towards the end. Okay, so we know we'll finish on the 25th, so we'll do that on the 24th. It's already changed, so it's already much shorter, as you can see in here. And also, it will also finish on the 24th. So let's do that. Okay, so that's planned, and just let me put some colors here for some reason, just to show you. And then this one, okay, it's the last thing. Let's say it's the last thing. So anyway, we'll do it on the 23rd. So it's not the last thing. We'll do it on the 23rd. And go, and because we've got this, it happens after. Okay, it's okay like this, but let me just organize this so that it's descending. Okay, fantastic. So you can see how you can have several of these lines and how you can manage and plan on a timeline several jobs. You know, it's the way, basically this way you'll just have more things on the list. Okay, so in practical terms, from also our experience here, what is going to happen is what you have planned is not exactly what's happening for several reasons. So what we recommend is that regularly, probably at the end of each day of work, you would come here and you actually adjust this to what actually happened if it's already in the past, and replan things for things that are coming in the near future. So you will adjust and as I say, keep planning as you go, keep adjusting as you go. Then I'd just like to show you the other tabs. So the job is going on right now. You can change the names, you can change the descriptions. The assignment is what I said, keep it as it is. Okay, for some reason, operations decided to extend this for another day. This is where you're going to change the total project duration, because remember, nothing that you have inside that project can be planned outside of the total project duration. So if there's something that needs to happen then, you know, like operations needs to, or whoever needs to give you, you know, the production line for longer available to maintenance to allow you to do that, and you will extend the time here for the total project duration. So let me just see. Okay, to continue, let's say. Sorry, I'm just looking at my notes here to see if I have added everything. Okay, all right, okay. So now let me go to, let's say the job has finished. Basically, this is what happened. You're happy with this sequence, or happy. Maybe you're not happy, but this is what happened. So now we come to the point of writing the job report. So this is 3 days after you finish the shutdown, and you've got some time to reassess and ask people what they think about the sequence of works. And perhaps you realized, as I said in the beginning, that you maybe planned something that would last for 2 hours, but in fact, it only lasted for an hour. Also, maybe you made use of outside contractors. You called 4 guys in, and most of the time they were doing nothing. Now you can leave a note to say that you actually needed only 2 for jobs of this type. So you use this space, the job report. Again, it's the report for the aggregate of all the work that you have done. I have something written in here already that I'm going to copy and paste. So in my examples here, just examples of things that you can write. So recorded sequence was not optimized. The recorded sequence is this sequence of work. Recorded means that it's what happened, was not optimized, and it is better to start with the checking of system A, just as an example. Otherwise, the lockout logout procedure will have to be done twice. So it's this type of thing. So sometimes when you're planning stuff like this, where you may save some time by not double doing things, because one job depends on the same conditions of another job. And yeah, most of the times you can tell that, but sometimes you can't. And all these things become apparent at the end of a shutdown. This is where you make a note, so that when you're planning it for the next time, then you come here and you remember this and you plan accordingly so that this doesn't happen. So as just another example, so ask operations to test equipment after phase A. So the milestone that I had in milestone 1, we realized that actually if you wait for operations to do all the verifications at the very end, then you've got a lot more work and it's a lot more rushed than if you split it into different occasions. And you didn't know in the beginning, but now you can tell that you can actually plan that in that way. So you leave that note for your future self, or for the guy that is coming on the next shutdown and planning the next shutdown. So this are some hints on to make it better. So, and this is what I said before, that we had 2 extra contracted technicians to complete. So we only required, we planned for 4, we only required for 2. Okay. So you save reports here. This is dynamic. So you save the reports and it stays here. So you can actually add the report, or you can add contents to the report as the shutdown, as the stoppage is ongoing, and you can add stuff here. You don't need to wait to the very end. You can add it here. So everything is done. You're happy with it. Everybody has given their input on like how this can be optimized. You've written everything. You're happy. It's done. Operations are very happy. Everything is running. So now you come to the job plan status, and this is the last step. Everything is good. You set it as complete. You can also delete it, by the way. You can see it here. But okay, you said job plan is complete. Yes. Okay. This job you don't see, but there's a pop-up that shows up here at the top that says, "Do you really want to change the job plan status?" By the way, before I do that, let me go to the job plans and look at this one on the list. So it's this one. Okay, so you see green. Green status means it's ongoing. It's not closed yet. It's not complete yet. So now let's go edit. Let's go to this and say, yes, I want to save. I want to set it as complete. And then there's this warning that you don't see. And then, okay, I want to set it as complete. Okay, changes were done. Let's go to the Search Console. You'll see that the LED is now red. You cannot edit anymore. It's done. It's set in stone. But obviously, you can still come back here and you can look at actually what happened and what the reports were. This can be quite long. I forgot, I think 5,000 characters, I believe, but something like that. Okay, so that's basically the information that is now logged and available to all, so you can improve your efficiency later. Okay, some notes about all of this. So essentially, I'm done with the practical demonstration of the job planner module. I think it's maybe you don't know how to do this immediately, but you have an idea of the features and the potential, and now it's a matter of exploring to make it work for you. But I just like to say that there's a couple of things that we will improve in this module relatively soon. The first one is the ability actually to manipulate, to edit a job plan that has been closed. Now, we have done this like that originally because of compliance to quality standards. Once you set something as complete, done, closed, then you cannot change it, because if something happens, then you can go and manipulate the information that is there. But I'm quite sure that we will implement a permission at some level that will allow users to actually edit closed job plans. So I think I'm quite sure this is a thing that we'll do in the short term. The other is actually there is no feedback, and that's a bit annoying for me, that there's no feedback on this list of work orders that have been complete. So you look at all of this, especially when you're editing the job plan, there is no feedback that tells you what the status of this work order is. So what we will do is, we've already discussed this, is we'll strike out all the text for the row of a work order that has been set as complete or closed. So as you are planning through the shutdown, where you're at over here, you not only know that the date to finish is passed, but there is no guarantee that the job is done. And like I mentioned, there is no feedback in here unless we put this strikeout marking here. So you'll know that you've passed, or you're on the date, or maybe you're before the date, but the technician has already set this as complete. So you'll be able to see it in here and say, oh, okay, I planned it for 2 days, but the guy already finished the job. It's been a day and a half. Now I can replan this, and I have, and of course you can go inside the work order and see it, but that would make you go inside each one. So from here you get information that it's been done. It's much more efficient, and we'll probably do that. Okay, so I spoke a lot. Now handing over to anyone that has a question. And does anyone like to ask anything about the module, about CMMS, about some applications, some example maybe from their plant? Go ahead. Okay. All right. Okay. Anything you need, we are always available. Sorry, I hear something. Okay. We are always available through our website in CMMS.com. So we've got all the contacts in there. You can get in touch with us through there. And that's basically it. If there's no comments and questions from anyone, that's it. Thank you very much. I hope this will help you, and I hope that this will open some new potential for your applications in your plant and make things more efficient and faster. We are recording this webinar, and we will post it on our website on the webinar section, I think in a couple of days. So if you'd like to go there and download that, actually this is going to be on YouTube. You can go and watch it anytime. The link will be there, so it will be forever accessible. So thank you very much, and hope to see you on the next one. I'm not sure which topic it will be, but we'll send it out in the newsletter. So in the meantime, happy maintaining, and see you soon. Thank you for your presence here. Bye-bye. See you.